My last video got comments, like a lot of comments. Although not every comment was positive, you guys showed that you were not just hyped about the characters, you were asking actual questions. Questions about structure, team identity, and about who leads what. And honestly, these are the perfect questions you guys are asking in the comments. So today, we are not doing a wish list. No. We are building the blueprint. So today, we are picking 5 factions, 5 blueprints. Let's go. Every fighting game needs contrast. You need the god who cracks the earth when he lands. You need the cosmic powerhouse with a full screen laser. But you also need the guy who bleeds. You need someone who wins not because they're the strongest, but because they're the most disciplined. You need the street. And right now, nobody owns the street like Daredevil. Born Again just reminded the whole world who Matt Murdock is. He's not some B-tier Marvel character, he's a headliner, and in a fighting game, he's the perfect mix of specialists. Short range, frame traps, relentless pressure. The kind of character where the player who wins is never the one with the flashiest combos. It's the one who never makes a mistake. But Daredevil alone doesn't build a faction. Here's some potential candidates that he could team up with. Luke Cage could act as a grappler. Jessica Jones can be your mid-range brawler, and you can even add White Tiger as a rushdown character. And there's one I need to spend a real hot second on. Cloak and Dagger. I genuinely think Cloak and Dagger could be the most mechanically interesting character in this entire game, not just on the street team, but on the whole roster. Picture this, one character, 2 completely separate game plans. You have Cloak mode, a zoner, you have darkness traps, teleport mix-ups, you control space and you make the opponents guess constantly. And then you have Dagger mode. You flip to close range, light-based pressure, support tools, and you're aggressive and fast. It's the same character, but different DNA. The swap mechanic is the character. Now that's not just a cool idea. That's a character people build videos around, and Tokon would be insane not to put them in. The street team covers every competitive archetype. You have grappler, mix-up, stance character, rushdown, and technical execution. That's a complete team, built from characters who don't rely on power, they rely on player being better than you. Okay, so let's say Kamala Khan is Team Avengers. That does make sense. Let's just say that happens. And Spider-Man, he has his own thing going on because, of course, he's Spider-Man. So what does that open up? That open up to a new, young team of heroes. That team, the New Warriors, and their leader, Night Thrasher. And before you click off, hear me out. Dwayne Taylor as Night Thrasher was a character who watched his parents get murdered, decided the system wasn't going to fix it, and built his armor with his own money. And then he recruited a group of superpowered kids that nobody else took seriously. Kinda does sound like somebody else, but because of this video and channel, we are not going to name that character for now. And who could be in this New Warriors team? Well, of course, you have the original members. You have Marvel Boy with zoning and screen control. You can have Firestar with fire traps and space control. You can have Speedball, who could be an absolute chaos character. And you can also have Nemorita with air mobility and pressure. Night Thrasher anchors that with purpose. This isn't chaos for chaos sakes. There's a leader, there's a plan, but it just moves really fast. Something with villains in fighting games are almost always the same. It's about pure destruction, evil for the sake of being evil, and big final boss energy. And that's fine. But Tokon can do something very interesting, and I'm talking about the original Thunderbolts led by Baron Zemo. And here's the lore. Zemo didn't just recruit villains, he disguised them as heroes. The original Thunderbolts in the comics were a fake hero team. Villains wearing capes running a long con on the entire Marvel universe. That concept, deception, shifting loyalty, and characters who don't know if they want to be saved, that's a narrative gold for a game like this. It creates a faction that feels different from every other villain team. Not chaotic, not reckless, but calculated. And possible members for this Thunderbolt team, well, then we have to go back to, of course, the original team. With Beetle, Goliath, Moonstone, Fixer, and Screaming Mimi. Of course, I can't have a video without talking about Thor. And Thor should not be on the Avengers team. No, he shouldn't. I know, alright? Calm down, calm down. Thor being a part of Avengers feels like he's just fading away in a team. But Thor leading Asgard, now that's a faction, and that's an identity, and that is a reason for Thor to stand out even more. And for the Asgardian team, there is so much to pick around. You can have Loki, the trickster, having multiple illusion moves, sort of like Krillin's after-imaging fighters. You can have one of my personal favorites, who you will hear a lot about on this channel, Beta Ray Bill. Yes, I know, I really want Beta Ray Bill. You can have Valkyrie with air dominance and very heavy dive kick. You can also have Hela, who you can have as your predetermined zoner. And there's so much character. Also, you can throw in Heimdall, Lady Sif. You can even throw in Odin if you want to. This is a faction where it makes sense. You can have stages built around it, and things will get flashy for this team. And some factions you have to build. Some factions build themselves. And in my eyes, Wakanda is one of them. Now, Black Panther doesn't need a pitch. He doesn't need a justification, he needs the right team, and Tokon needs to execute. Potential Wakanda team could include Shuri with tech heavy moves, you can have Okoye with mid-range control, and Baku as your defensive armored character, and Killmonger as your aggressive type character. There's also the same idea here with the Asgard team, that you can have so many stage ideas to go with the team. Wakanda is such a big, complex, and beautiful location for Marvel. You can build stages and scenes around the Wakanda area. So the point is, Marvel Tokon can't just be a roster. Street versus Asgard versus New Warriors versus Thunderbolts versus Wakanda. That's not just character selection, that's identity. It's a player who says, I'm a street player, I don't play Asgard, that's not my style. It's the rivalry between the calculated Thunderbolts player and the Chaos New Warrior players. It's the Wakanda main who's been quietly labbing while everyone else is playing Asgard. That's what makes a fighting game last. Not just the graphic, not the rollback netcode, not the guest characters. The feeling that the character you picked says something about who you are. And that starts with getting the leaders right. So today we have gone through 5 factions, 5 leaders, 5 completely different answers to one question. What kind of player are you? Now drop your faction in the comment. Who do you trust to lead, and what teams or factions would you like to see in the game? Not necessarily who's fit for the game, but who do you want to see make it? And if I missed a leader who should be on this list, tell me why, because clearly you guys have opinions, and of course I am here for it. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Peace out.